Hi, my name is Shah. I'm a researcher here at CRIS Lab in IISc Bangalore, headed by Professor Arpita Patra in IISc. We work on many cryptography protocols. One of them is what is known as multi-party computation, or MPC in short. Today we are going to talk about an application and also a platform that actually makes use of MPC. I have with me today Bhavish and Pratik to help me describe some of these protocols and applications. Primarily, MPC is used in terms of in applications where privacy preservation is necessary. So, to talk about privacy preservation and applications, I'll hand over to Pratik to continue.
Hi. Today we'll be talking about an interesting application of where privacy requirement is evident, and that is for stock exchanges and share market. So we know that traders invest their money on the stock market, where various companies they come in public and put their shares on market. The shares are sold and bought. However, it is possible that insider trading may cause chaos in the market. So, what do I mean by that? Let's say, consider the scenario of Bombay Stock Exchange, where the companies they sell their stocks through Bombay Stock Exchange. It is possible some employees of Bombay Stock Exchange give away some information that certain company, let's say a company A, is selling their stocks at certain price at this date, and this amount, let's say X amount of stock is going to be sold. If this information is public before such transaction happens, that can lead to unfair biasness in the market. Certain traders can use this information to gain additional advantage. Therefore, it is required to execute this matches privacy preserving way. And one of the approaches to solve or address this problem is via multi-party computation, or in short MPC.
Thank you very much, Pratik. So, that is a very nice application. And the stock exchanges can be anywhere in the world, India or America or whatever part of the world that you're looking for. Now, if you look at multi-party computation, so it is a technology or a primitive by itself, which is part of cryptography. So, Bhavish, can you explain MPC a bit more?
Yeah, sure. So, as Shyam mentioned, MPC is a cryptographic technique which allows a set of parties with some private input to compute a joint function of the input while ensuring privacy and correctness. So, what does privacy do? It essentially ensures that each party's private input remains private and it does not get leaked to all the other parties during the computation. Right? And correctness ensures that whatever is the function that these parties are trying to compute is correctly computed. Right? So this is in short MPC. And when you look at this problem of stock exchange that Pratik was mentioning, here various parties would be each individual traders who are willing to buy or sell some stock, and the private input would be the amount that they are willing to pay or to buy or sell the stock. Right. So yeah, that is how MPC can be abstracted out as a problem. And there is a lot of research that has gone into this particular technique, and it has been studied in various different dimensions. Right? So one such dimension is that what the parties are allowed to do. It is possible that in many cases the parties just follow whatever computation they are supposed to do, but in the process of doing this computation they try to learn some information. So these type of parties are called semi-honest parties, and it could be possible that some parties are trying to deviate from the protocol and they don't follow the protocol steps correctly, and using that they are able to gain this information. Right? So this such parties are known as malicious parties. Right? And MPC has been studied in both of these different dimensions, and there are techniques that can guarantee these properties of privacy and correctness in both semi-honest parties as well as malicious parties. Right? Similarly, you could another dimension that has been popularly been looked at is the number of parties that could be corrupted. So the first thing here is in any MPC protocol, we do not say a particular party is corrupted and other party cannot be corrupted. Nothing like that. We just say that there could be a certain number of parties that could be corrupted. right? And depending on the number of parties that could be corrupted in the protocol, you can turn the protocol or the setting to be an honest majority setting or a dishonest majority setting. So in an honest majority setting, only a minority number of parties are corrupted, right? Less than half the number of parties involved in the competition, right? And in a dishonest majority protocol, a majority of your parties could be corrupt. So, for example, if you take again the stock exchange example, where the parties are these different traders, it could be that each of this different trader could be corrupted either maliciously or in a semi-honest manner, and you can assume that majority of the participants involved in this trade are corrupted, or a minority of participants are involved in this trade are corrupted. So, depending on that, there are different results, and different works look at these different settings.
I have a question for you. When you say multi-party competition, is it mean 2 or 3 or 4 or what is the number? So when you say multi, what is the meaning of that?
Right, multi-party, it could be, there are works that have looked at a small number of parties where they fix on specifically 2 or 3 or 4 parties and things like that. And within that, they look at honest majority or dishonest majority and things like that. But there are also protocols that have been developed for a generic n-party setting.
I see.
Like for example, over for this example that Pratik was mentioning, you don't know beforehand what are the number of parties. There could be 10 traders today or 20 traders tomorrow and things like that. So the solution that we would be looking at would be a generic n-party solution.
So Pratik, you said that you can solve this problem using MPC. How?
So to solve this problem, what is the starting point? We need to start with fixing the dimensions. As Havish mentioned, that we first need to consider how many parties are going to be bad that we want to address, and then we need to consider, are the parties allowed to deviate from the protocol or they are going to be semi-honest. So we know certain limitations, that if the majority of the parties are malicious, that they can deviate arbitrarily, then certain things are beyond possibility. On the other hand, if the number of malicious parties is small and most of the parties are good, in that case it is possible to leverage majority of the honest parties and better things can be done. However, here we can accommodate only a small fraction of corrupt parties, malicious parties. Therefore, what we try to get a middle ground that gives us the flexibility to corrupt to adapt as many corrupt parties as possible, as well as achieve the strongest possible guarantees that is possible in the setting where majority of the parties are honest. So that is the scenario that we consider. However, since we know that certain limitations are there, we overcome those limitations by considering some additional helper party. What do we mean by the helper party? In the same context of the stock exchange, the let's say SEBI or Bombay Stock Exchange, it can be enact as the helper party, whose role is to execute the whole system correctly. However, it can try to gain additional information, but it doesn't want to disrupt or interrupt the system. And that is why we can consider it to be semi-honest, not as malicious.
Can the helper parties see the data of the other parties in the system?
No, that is what we want to prevent.
I see.
Otherwise, a simple just sending all the information to the central party was good enough. So we want to prevent that, and that is how we design the protocol. Okay. So we design a protocol where, in the presence of this helper party, majority of the parties could be bad, and still the protocol will go through smoothly. And that is what we offer from our construction of Asterisk.
Bhavish, do you know any other applications or just the stock market that he has been talking since the beginning?
No, this kind of setting wherein you're considering one designated party to be semi-honest and all the other parties could be malicious and you could have dishonest majority. This is actually a very practical setting that finds use in other applications as well. For example, consider a machine learning training. For example, there are many hospitals that collect different patient data, and you have an organization like AIMS which wants to train a model to predict some disease or analyze some scan results and things like that. They are only interested in training the model and not the patient data itself. So AIMS over here can act as the semi-honest party, and all the other hospitals could act as these other malicious parties or other parties in the protocol, and this asterisk kind of setting naturally fits them, right? And there is one other example, which is privacy preserving ride sharing, which is also one of the works from our lab by Pratik and other members in the lab, which you can take a look, which also works on top of this asterisk.
Any closing remarks, Pratik?
So in this framework, we designed the protocol for generic functionality. It can accommodate the applications that we have already talked about, and it has the potential to accommodate any other applications as well. So if you are facing any sort of problems in the sense of privacy, where privacy is required, you can design a protocol and accommodate in this framework.
Thank you very much for your time. For more information, please visit our lab website and you can access all the material that we have mentioned so far. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.